All right. Good morning. Good morning. Let's get us in the show here. We're not even in the show right now. There we go. Good morning. How you doing?
Good, you?
I'm doing good, my man. Doing good. We're here back for episode number 36 of Follow Friday. 36. 36. So let's go ahead and like and share.
Oh yeah, gotta do that.
Get this thing shared far and wide, as my girl Deborah Tavares would say, far and wide. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to talk a little bit about contact strategies and different contact types. You know, the importance of having a multi-pronged approach to reaching out to people. So we'll go ahead and talk about that today. But let's go ahead and share it. And everybody that has joined us, as you join us, go ahead and like it, love it, share it. And we definitely want some comments. Definitely would like to have some comments today.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about contact strategies, and we definitely want some comments and feedback and some responses. So let us know. Contact type strategies. And I'm putting this in the notes and in the comments as well. So contact types and strategies. Go ahead and like it and share it. Let's get this pushed far and wide. I listen to this lady, Deborah Tavares, and she always says that. Please share this far and wide.
That's right.
So, yeah. All right. I think I've got mine pushed out now. Facebook changed the business page. You notice that?
No, I didn't notice that.
It's maybe I can flip back to my old format, but I'm working off of a new format. Look at this here. This is my business page.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, it does look different up top and everything. The icons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
mine doesn't look like that.
I can't find anything anymore in here. You know, I don't know where anything is. It's like, where'd everything go?
Wow. Yeah, they did change it. Mine isn't like that yet. I wonder why. Huh.
Maybe I hit a button that I shouldn't have hit.
That could happen.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have clicked on accept changes and didn't even pay any attention to it. So, but that's all right. Life is right. How things going with you? How's your week been, my friend?
It's been good. A lot of different work, a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. It's been different this week. I've had a lot of computer time a lot of computer time I don't like.
Yeah, you like to get out. You like to get out and get active. You're an active guy. So I understand that completely. How about commercial business? How's that treating you?
It's going good. I got a lot of reactions, a lot of stuff cooking. Restaurants, people are really wanting some restaurants and drive-through.
Really? Oh, drive-through, yeah.
Drive-throughs.
In the age of COVID, huh?
Yeah, so they're switching from, just having a regular restaurant dine-in to I want to drive-through, and their drive-through business is big. So we got a lot of people wanting drive-throughs, and we got a lot of other stuff cooking. We got some bigger place spaces. It's just tough. It's tough out there to find the right place and make sure everybody's right, but it's good. I mean, I haven't had any issues with, businesses slowing down. There's still people wanting to grow and wanting to expand, and that's good. I'm happy. I'm glad to see that,
Yeah, I agree. That's good. That's a beautiful thing. Well, it's been a very good and very busy week. Very good. Oh, Christina, thank you for the comments and suggestions. Nice. It's been a very good, very busy week. Of course, it's the end of the month. So in our business, It's going to be extremely busy, in our business at the end of the month. So I'm okay with that. No complaints, but it has been very busy, and it's been a good week. But I'm still trying to close up the month and keep building for the next month. So got to keep grinding it. Got to keep grinding it. So.
Right.
So one of the things I did while I was, doing some prospecting in between is jumped on a couple of different webinars. I always will jump on some webinars and stuff like that, and was listening to a really good one about contact strategies, contact types. So I thought that'd be really good because obviously, we've got our dominant follow-up strategies article that we always reference anyway, right? So it's this one right here, guys. Everyone will recognize our dominant article. There we go, the progression of a sale. So this is something that we reference this article all the time. This is, and I'm going to put the link to this article in the comments, but this is from 4 dominant follow-up strategies. So this is what we reference all the time, but I thought it'd be good today to talk about contact strategies from the perspective of how and when and what type of contacts. And the webinar I was on yesterday was talking about some different approaches to contact and follow up. And I remembered we had this as a part of our normal article. So I thought it'd be good to talk about this because that's the next thing. It's like, okay, well, I get these leads. Now, what do I do with them, and how can I effectively, contact them? And so that's what's the next step to kind of talk about is contact strategies. So, I'll flip up real quickly this infographic, which shows a 20-day contact strategy. And Carlos, I know you have talked about on a number of occasions where it really doesn't end in 20 days. Right? It really doesn't end in 20 days.
No, you can't. And people don't always follow it or live by it or believe it because you can't stop. You cannot it just drives me crazy after those 1, 2, 3 tries, attempts. Well, they haven't bought for me. They're not buying from me, so I'm done with them, or they just stop. I got an email the other day. This is my last chance. This is my last, what did it say? This was my last attempt. Okay, thanks for letting me know.
Right. You're giving up.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is your last attempt to reach out to me, so I'm not going to hear from you ever again. And see, that's what just drives me nuts. Oh, by the way, I just want to let you know that I got a lovely phone call at my store. I'm never at my store. And I just happened to walk in and a phone rings and they said, and it's my wife that answered, and she's like, yeah, he's here. And I'm like, what? Why? I'm like, I'm never here. Who would be calling me here? And it was a copier. It was a printer, a machine company.
Huh.
And I'm like, and she goes, I'm so interested. Listen to this. She goes, I'm so interested in developing relationships. And, she was calling me to set up a time to talk with me. And I'm like, well, I'm never here. So I don't meet with people here because I'm never here, and so she's like, well, and I said, plus we have, these huge leases on these machines that we already have. So it's not like I can change, Right. And so she's like, well, that's fine. And then she still said, do you have a minute to meet with me? She goes, because I believe in the development of relationships and following up with people and continuing to develop, maybe future business or referrals or, but I'm like, and then I'm starting to listen to this and I'm like, she's saying everything that we've been talking about. Well, she found me on LinkedIn and she saw one of our Follow-Up Friday videos.
Okay.
And so it was the relationship thing. So she did it with me, she used that.
Yeah.
And by the end of the conversation, I was like, yeah, I'll meet with you, you know what I mean? Because it was just like, I got to give this person a chance because it was everything that we ever talk about, You know what I mean?
Right.
So she found me on LinkedIn, and I'm like, I'm like, this is just odd that she's saying it like this.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'm like, well, she said, I'm interested in the future and the later relationship. Maybe we don't do business today, but 5 years from now, because I still have 5 years left on my leases,
Right.
And so, but when she was talking, I was like, man, this is like, I can't do nothing but give this person an opportunity.
Yeah. Why not? And the great thing about that is you have a 5-year lease, but like you have said, and you're a perfect example of it, you might build a relationship with me for mortgage or for real estate, but my relationship with you leads me to contact you when I need business cards, shirts printed, things of that nature, right? Because you have other things. So, she might flip into another industry,
right,
and get out of that space, So
hey, let me tell you, there's a lot of people that which doesn't bother me, but there's a lot of people that frown on jumping from industry to industry or different places to, job to job, job to job. But I'm like, I love it because, I know people that I have good relationships with that have went from place to place to place. And now I have business from each place they've been.
That's right. That's right.
Why would I not?
Yeah.
I've gotten business from them, and I still do business with them. And sure, why not? Let's do it.
You're right. Yeah. That was a worthwhile call for her to make to you, and it doesn't matter. And it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, she'll keep following up with you. Recognizing that you do have a 5-year lease, but there are other reasons to contact and reach out, and that those reasons will ultimately lead to other things down the line. So hopefully she keeps following up. So we'll have to do a check-in every once in a while and check in on the lady who's calling on the leases and the machines.
Right. And I just thought it was just obviously she did it for a reason. You know what I mean? Obviously she did it because she saw the video, and it worked, by the end of the first call, she told me what I want to hear, what I like.
That's right.
Not this is my last attempt. I got this person that says I want a long-term relationship. And then I also got an email that said, this is my last attempt.
Yeah. Who do you think you're going to contact when you need that service?
Yeah.
You're not going back to the last attempt email.
No, I'm like, well, I'll just delete the last attempt then.
Right.
Right. I mean, just that way. So you got to continue on past that. Yes.
You have to. Yeah, absolutely. You have to. I mean, that's day 20, but there's so many more reasons than we talked about, before. There's so many more reasons to reach out and contact. So this model is talking about a largely a telephone email type of an approach. You get a lead in day 1, you call, you email, and then you call again a little bit later on. Day 3, day 4, send an email. 5 or day 8, email and a telephone call. So this is giving you some different touches, some different ways of following up over the course of 20 days. For me, I actually probably call a lot more often than that. But then this is just telephone calls and emails. There's some other ways to contact people and approach people, right, Carlos? I mean, what are some other ways you go about hitting them up?
Well, I mean, phone calls, emails, letters, postcards, going to see them, taking the time to see them, developing that milk route.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Face to face, pop in milk route. You're right. Absolutely.
Text message. I do it via either any way that there's a possibility. Email. There's a ton of different ways that you can contact these people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I told you I sat on that webinar yesterday, and I'll pull up some of the notes I took. So this is from Surefire, which is a CRM that you're very familiar with.
Yeah,
and
I love it.
It talked about having a multi-touch approach to stay in touch with our customers and our clients. Email, you mentioned that, social media, texting, telephone calls, mailing, like postcards, pop-ins, pop-bys, as you mentioned. So there's a multi-approach to contacting people, and having a multi-approach is very important. So what about this? What about this? So we know, and I know a lot of realtors and people that do this as well, on that day one, if it's someone that was referred to you, why not make the call, do a text message, send an email if you got it. How about pop in on the social media and send them a friend request or follow them, right? How about that? Now, all of a sudden, you're not necessarily calling someone who's a cold lead, right? Because once you send that friend request, they've already been told, hey, Carlos is going to be calling me. So now they see that Carlos friend request, they pop in, they read a little bit about Carlos and what he does, et cetera, et cetera. Now, all of a sudden, it becomes a little more of a warm call, right? So what about that from a multi-pronged approach of contact strategy?
Something to talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe there's a certain interest, like the baseball thing that you had. You know, maybe somebody enjoys baseball just like you do, or is in the same league. You know what I mean? But it gives a reason for them to call you. You know, you got to find that other reason than just do business with me.
Yeah. No, you're right. They may have kids. They might like cactus. They might like, right? So there's a number of reasons that they may decide to pick up the phone or to call back, right? So that's another I thought that was very good in terms of, out of that webinar, which is having a multi-pronged approach, contacting them. You've got text messages, emails, you've got social media, go friend them or send them a friend request. You've got telephone calls, mail, you got postcards. Postcards are another very effective way to keep up with people. Sometimes people like me, some of my mailboxes might fill up, or I might, change and go from using Gmail to Yahoo or whatever, right? But you know what, if someone has my address because I did business with them and they mail a postcard, they're going to always be able to get a hold of me, because if I move, guess what? They're going to get a forwarding address that's going to go back. So there's ways in order to stay in contact with people and different ways to touch them. But, what I loved about that session was, the fact that it talked about just having a multi-pronged approach, right? Having, ways that you can stay in touch with people, phone calls, emails, postcards, text messages, all the things we've been talking about. We've got to find different ways to contact people. And because different people respond differently to different contact attempts either, right? I mean, if you try to reach my wife on email, you might occasionally get a response, but you send a text message, you'll get a response, right? So everybody responds differently.
But and you got to adjust to the age group too. But the thing is, it's like I'm on the phone or a call. Like I just got 2 calls right now, and it's like, it'd be better off to send me a text message right away, because that way I can either respond during it or at least I know what's going on. You know what I mean? But there's times where you can't just use a phone call and an email. You can always leave a voicemail. And the thing is leaving the right voicemail. People say, oh, they're not listening to voicemails. No, you got to leave the right one. Because you got to give them a reason to call back. Right. I mean, there was a guy that we've been calling. There's a commercial real estate is a slow process. And I mean, because people are slow. But so I called this person. I have another agent that's working on it too. And we've called. It hasn't returned calls, doesn't return text messages at all. So I left a fun voicemail, and it was an exciting one, and it was a reason to call. And they called me back like within 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So
they were getting it.
And I can't say that just happened to be a coincidence, but I left a voicemail, and it was a voicemail that he wanted and that would give him a reason to call me back. Mm-hmm. And it was exciting, positive, and it wasn't a mean one because he hasn't been calling me back or doesn't return calls, but it was just it was a good voicemail to have him call me back, and he called me back on that. But we've been calling him and texting him for days, and he doesn't answer.
Right.
But he called me back. I got a hold of him, and I talked to him about what I needed to talk to him about.
Yeah. The right kind of message. The right kind of message. Yeah. Well, one of the things that came out of that session as well, and I'll share the graphic on there, is it was one of the secrets is calling still works. Calling still works. Telephone calls still work. As a primary marketing channel, 98% of the time you'll get a connect rate, whether it's an answer machine or someone picks up or they tell you they're not interested. Either way, calling still works. And it's important that we do use the telephone. I mean, obviously the telephone is something that a lot of people don't want to use. So they'll send text messages or emails, but calling still works. That telephone call still works. And even if you leave a message, the right message you just described, yes, you're going to get a response, right? You're going to get some kind of response, well, even if it's go away.
Yeah.
Even if it's
and that's away. That's my biggest thing is people, the people that are out there saying that voicemails, people don't listen to voicemails anymore, or you got to do it. You still have to do it. Mm-hmm. It is baloney because, because you just got to leave the right one. You got to leave a right voicemail. You got to leave the right text message. You got to you can't just spill it all out and then maybe they have no interest and you never had an opportunity to talk to them, but you can leave the right voicemail or the right text message to have them call you so you get that opportunity to talk to them.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest part is I don't care if I call 100 leads here in another 35 minutes, if I call 100 leads and I leave voicemails to every single one of them, I don't care. They're going to call me back because I'm going to give them a reason to call me back.
Right.
Not a voicemail saying, hey, I want to list your house, or not a voicemail saying, I want to work with you to help you find your house. You got to give them a reason to call you so you get that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all part of our contact strategy, our follow-up, having a follow-up schedule is what this topic of this section is. But that's all part of it, right? Is having a follow-up schedule, having a plan and approach in order to following up. And, whether you do it as a day-by-day basis, a monthly basis, whatever, we definitely have to utilize multiple approaches and have different strategies, understanding that different people respond differently. There are some people, like you just said, there are some people that do listen to voicemails,
There is.
And so if you're not leaving any voicemail, you're going to miss a % of the population that would ordinarily respond to your reach out, right? So it's important, just like, if we're not sending text messages or if we're not sending emails, email is not dead. It's not the dominant form that people use by any means anymore, but it's not dead. I mean, email is still a very important form of communication and marketing approach. So, we definitely have to have email a part of it. We've got to have text messaging. A significant part of our population, responds to text messages. The statistics on text messages are ridiculous, right? I mean, they're ridiculous, the response that you get on text messages. I think I took a snapshot of that as well. Oh yeah, here we go. We love text messaging. Here we go. Let me make this a little bit bigger.
I'm telling you that, and you got that from another person, right?
Yeah, this came from Surefire.
Right. So that's the same thing. That's the same numbers that you had on your original one. Yeah, isn't it? 98%.
98%. Yeah, 98% of text messages are opened, and in this Surefire, 98% open rate on text messages.
See?
Right. So why is text messaging very important? It's because the open rate, 90% are read within the first 3 minutes of getting that message. 91% is within an arm's reach. 91% is meaning 91% of the people have the phone right where we can pick it up right away within an arm's length, arm's reach, right? So it's important that we text message, but see, that's where it's important that we understand that that is not the only way. And some people replace text messaging with everything else. And again, the importance is having multiple contact strategies, multiple contact approaches, not just one, right? Because then all of a sudden we're excluding out a significant part of the population that prefers emails or telephone calls or prefers to go and get their information from social media.
Yeah, because do you realize, I need to tell you guys, because what I've been experiencing these last month is just personal experience. We still have people that do business with us that don't even have email.
Yeah.
Or they don't even open up email, or they don't even know how to use it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they don't do technology. We're lucky that we get a text message. These people, we have to get on the phone, we have to call them, and we have to meet in front of them. We have to put the piece of paper in front of them, and they have to sign the paper in front of you. They don't do electronic signatures. They don't do any of that. You go and see them in person. And there's a ton of people that I've been doing that with in the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's just enough to sit there and say, and this is big business. This is not, this is $700,000 worth of business each person. And they do that, so you got to sit here and think, how many people are we missing just by not phone calls, by not leaving voicemails? Because that's all they do is voicemails and calls. We call this guy. If he doesn't answer, we leave him a voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
He calls back. He doesn't, he has troubles texting. You know what I mean? So, and this guy does a ton of business, is going to do a ton of business, a big business. Yeah. So there's still a ton of people out here you need to phone call, and I have two people that are trying to make phone calls, and they're text. They're the younger crews that think that texting is the way. And I'm like, you guys got to leave voicemails. You got to leave calls. You got to call.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. I can tell you, from being in the mortgage space, there's a lot of people that have to go down to the title company to sign the contract. They have to go to the title company to sign anything because they don't have email, or they don't access email, or they choose not to do email. But they'll answer the phone so that they know, that I'm trying to call, and they'll go down and they'll sign that paperwork at the title company. So there's a lot of people, and that's why it's important, for us to have a multi-pronged approach to our contact strategies and our contact types, because, like I said, when I get a lead, it's not a bad idea for me to call, email, text, and depending on who it is, if it's a referral, maybe to go and friend them, right? See if they've got a social media profile and friend them so they can get to know who I am, but the multi-pronged approach is very important, that we have to consider that, because if not, as you just said, we're missing out on a significant portion of the population, right? We're missing out on a significant portion of the population. The other thing is, if we have an existing base of customers, remember we talked about, we can send text messages, we can send emails, we can even send postcards or holiday cards, right? So that's another way of contacting people. That's old-fashioned, the old-fashioned thank you notes, right? There's still a lot of people that do those, but hey, some people respond significantly to the old-fashioned approach of a handwritten.
But the thing people don't understand is, that's what kills me, is people don't understand is that if you do every aspect of it, if you make phone calls, you do text messages, you do emails, you do social media, you do every direction, every instant messaging, every direction. If you're reaching out to everybody all the time, you do all that, and then you still send out cards send out those letters, send out those postcards, send out those thank yous, send out those happy holidays, those happy birthdays. If you send out every single one of those, you're going to hit, even if it's 3% of your clients that do that, you got 3% here, 5% here, 10% here. You know what I mean? And it all adds up. You know what I mean? So if you don't do every single bit of it, you're missing out on that. Even if it's 10 or 15 people, you're missing out on that. That's
Mhm.
you. And when somebody's growing, somebody's starting a business or in the middle of a business and trying to grow to that next level, that's where you need to hit every single person, no matter which way it is. If it's you only get 10 people out of that, you got 10 more people that you didn't have before.
Mhm. Mhm. You're right. You're absolutely right.
People are understanding that the old-fashioned way, you're still catching a few people, and you need a few. A little bit adds up to a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. A little bit adds up to a lot, whether you're, like you said, you're sending postcards, text messages, emails, phone calls, all those will aggregate up to, to deals. And those deals will start flowing in. They'll flow in to where we really won't know where and how they came in. I mean, I tell you right now, I'm not even joking. There are some days I get people that reach out and I'm like, I have no clue where they came from. Now, eventually I ask, because one of my, when I do an application, I'm going to ask, how'd you hear about me? But it's amazing, it's amazing how far ago some of those referrals came from, and where they come from. Some are on Facebook, some are on LinkedIn, some are because I sent emails a long time ago. It's just amazing. So you're right. It all adds up. It all aggregates up to leads. And that's what it's all about. We've got to have a multi-pronged approach because different people respond differently. I'm going to say that again, different people respond differently. We all, one of the things I learned in sales early on at Sprint was about the modalities, right? And we all have, different dominant modalities: auditory, visual, kinesthetic, right? I like to say I'm an auditory. I respond very well by listening. I tell my wife, listen, I don't need to look at you when you're talking to me. All right. I can just listen to you. You don't need eye contact. But she's a visual, right? So she needs to see things. So if I am communicating verbally with her and I'm not giving her some pictures or some images, I'm missing, right? I'm missing. I'm not gonna get across to her because I'm not appealing to her dominant modality. And the same thing with people who are kinesthetics, right? They got to feel it, touch it. That's the people that say, I learn best by doing, right? So understanding, once I understood those things, I realized that, it's different strokes for different folks, but it's also important upon us to make sure that we're not trying to make sure that people communicate the way we like, but we're communicating the way that they need. That's the most important thing, that we're communicating the way that they need in order to get the message. So that's why it's so important to have a multi-pronged approach.
Yes. I think, I truly think that people don't understand that a little bit adds up to a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't get that. Like when I'm building a business, we take everything. We take one person here. If we get 5 people from this ad, 3 people from this ad, 2 people from this ad, 10 people from here, it all adds up.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand that it all adds up. It just, you have to do everything no matter what to get however many you need. You know what I mean? Get to your number.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's the thing that I've learned is that it's about activity. It's about activity. It's about activity. And you know what? Sometimes, we don't necessarily realize which activity is the most important, which activities have the most effectiveness. But you know what? It really doesn't matter. What matters is that we are having that activity and we are consistently, doing that activity. So, having a follow-up plan, having multiple contact strategies and approaches to reach people is kind of what I thought it'd be good to talk about today, because like I said, I sat on that webinar yesterday and I thought it was really good. And also some of the same stuff we're talking about, just like you said, when that girl called you, from the printing business, so we're going to look forward to checking in with her and seeing how well, she does with following up. We'll see.
and then I put, it even made sense. Like, so I saw LinkedIn, I got a message from LinkedIn and I'm like, oh, this must be her. So then I see what she's done or where she's been, you know what I mean? And and she messaged me on there, but it wasn't LinkedIn. I'm getting all kinds of, sign up with me, the social media marketer, sign up here, do this, do that. I have no clue who these people are. And I'm telling you guys, those people, you can do that. You can keep marketing like that. But you also, if you truly, truly want business, you got to know who they are. You got to figure out who they are, what they like. You got to develop a relationship, and then follow up with them. But your follow-up plan has got to be strong. You got to be able to do it. And you got to use your phone, your email, you got to use all that. But don't send out those salesy messages all the time and not get personal with them.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Carlos, I think you said, what was it that you said? I think you said it last week. If I know you, I like you, I trust you.
Yeah. If you like, if they like you, trust you, and believe in you, they'll buy from you. And that's the biggest part is that you got to get them to like you, trust you, and believe in you. And when they do that, they'll buy from you. They'll get something from you, or they'll refer you. So that's my biggest thing is that that's the relationship. They got to like you. They got to trust you. They got to trust you as a person. That's me. I do that all day long, but I've learned in my life that you got to trust people. And you can't just be like skeptical all the time. You do got to take that leap and you got to learn, but you got to watch what you do. And then, like them, trust them, and believe in them. You got to believe in what they're doing, Man, it gets me exciting when I find good people that I can like, trust, and believe, And I might not do business with these people, but I'll refer them business. I got a guy, a contractor. I'm going to start doing business with this guy. Because he's got his head on straight. I've learned a lot about him, and the business that he does, the work he does, I've seen the work he's done, and who he works with, and it's all around good, and I might not do business with this person. I might not use their service, but I guarantee you I'm going to refer every single person I possibly can.
That's right. Well, and that's key. Again, we talk about what I would call the secondary or the tertiary contact approach or residual effect. And that secondary and tertiary residual effect is what you just said right there. And it's also potentially something that's going to happen with a young lady who knows you have a 5-year deal on those leases, right? But she might know someone else who needs some other services, or you might know someone else who needs some other services, and then you'll end up sending them there. And that's the secondary or the tertiary, effect of building a relationship, which ultimately at the end of the day, all these primary contact strategies, all these follow-up plans, that's what it's all about, is building a relationship with somebody.
So I drive my wife nuts when it comes to the vendors and stuff, because it's like she gets off the phone. She's like, we're not going to do business. We're not going to do that. Well, I'm like, I know we're not going to, I know that we don't, that doesn't mean that's what the biggest part is I'm different is I know just because I develop a relationship with somebody doesn't mean I'm going to do business with them, but I might refer them business, or they might have business to refer me.
Right.
But, and that's my biggest thing is if I help them get business, what are they going to do? They're going to help me.
That's right.
If I help enough other people get what they want in life, then I'll get what I want. What I mean? And that's the biggest part is that, it drives her nuts because I talk to everybody, and you got to be nice to your vendors, like I was nice to her. It's just like, I was just flat out telling her, I'm like, I'm not doing anything because I got a 5-year lease.
Right.
But then after that, typically everybody, when I say that, I'm waiting for okay, well, I'll put you down on my calendar for 5 years.
Right.
And that's all I get.
Yeah.
But this person literally, she says, so can you give me 15 minutes and we can sit down and meet and talk? And, I love the relationship part and building the relationship, the referrals. And I'm like, what in the world are you? Is this a joke? I literally was on the phone thinking to myself, is this a joke? Like, because this is what we talk about, you know? And I'm like, this has got to be somebody playing a joke. There's times where I think people are playing jokes on me. You know, it's just too good to be true. You know, and
hey, listen, if someone watches a video that we're on and they call and use that strategy on us, if nothing else, it's worth the time to listen.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It is like, to me, there's some, seriously, I've had, you know, I love having fun, and I've had people play jokes on me. You know, they call me up and it was just a pure joke, you know? But this was just like, are you kidding me? This is everything that I talk about. And I even looked over at my wife, like, is this, you know, I'm like pointing at the phone. I'm like, is this a joke? You know what I mean? This is everything we talk about, you know? Yeah. I'm like, so I was just trying to figure out 5 minutes, you know, and I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's do it. You know, I'm in for that. Yeah. You know, I couldn't turn it away. I couldn't say no. I couldn't, you know, I'm like, okay, that's what I want. That's what I like.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Well, that's good. You know, I thought this would be good, man. And obviously, you know, like I said, it's just what you just exemplified is that it always comes back to that too, right? All these calls, whether it's through an email or a text message or a postcard or, you know, telephone call or social media connection, all it is a means to building relationships, because that's what it's about, right? If we want to be effective, because once you have good relationships and, you know, you build those relationships with people, they're going to naturally refer us to other people. And that's lead generation. That's no cost lead generation, right? We have to have an approach. We have to have a plan. But then at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, when it's hand-to-hand combat, it's all about building a relationship with people. You know, that's what it's about. And we just can't build a relationship unless we follow up.
You got to do it fast too, because, you know, there's millions of people in this world, you know, even if you wanted to focus on Kansas City, which that's all I do is focus on Kansas City. You know, I'll go nationwide when I'm ready, you know, but I have to know everybody where I'm at. You know, Lincoln, I knew everybody where I was at, you know. I was pretty satisfied at where I was in Lincoln because I was very well connected, and anybody that needed something, I could refer them somewhere.
Absolutely. Good. Well, this is good stuff, man. I really appreciate, you know, you sharing again your knowledge on it, because it just keeps things very simple, you know. And that example you share with that young lady, you know, we'll see how many times she works her way through this contact cycle. We'll see how many times she does that. She made the first connect. She did a good job of creating rapport, you know, by communicating to you that she's heard what you've been saying on some of your videos in LinkedIn. So now we'll see how effective she is. We'll see how effective she is at sending maybe some text messages on some holidays or touching base with you periodically every 90 days, right? So she has to stay in front of you, and we'll see how effective she is at that. But what a great example, you know, what a great way to reach out to somebody. That's good.
And you know what she said? She's like, so this is what I even know which video she heard too, because she says, just give me 15 minutes, even if it's on the go, if it's while you're eating lunch, we'll have some lunch. And, you know, remember when I talked about my insurance agent that she took me to lunch, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it was like, I'm like, what? And no, that's what it was killing me. It was like, even at lunch, I'll take you to lunch. Just give me 15, 20 minutes while you're on the go. And I'm like, man, this is just, for a long time, I was just like, this is weird. You know, this is, but I know, you know what I mean?
Some of the people to sell are salespeople ourselves. Why? Because we respect the effort. We respect the game. You know what I mean? So we can tell when someone is displaying some really good strategies and some really good tactics and some really good skills. We recognize that, and so we can sometimes be some of the easiest people to sell. because we recognize that, So there's a number of times when I've called guys that are salespeople and overcome 5 or 6 objections. And they're like, man, you know what? You're good. You would have given, most people would have given up after the first or second, and but my mentality is 5 objections. And that's just on the first call, 5 objections, and if I ain't got 5 objections, there's no need to hang up yet. So either you're going to hang up on me or I'm going to overcome at least 5 objections. Why? Because most people, very much like the graphic that we know about the contact approach, it's eerily familiar. Most people give up after the first objection. It's probably closer to 80% give up after the first objection, right? And it's almost like maybe like 2% get to the 5th objection, So, so as far as overcoming objections, hey, listen, 5, the top 4% of salespeople in their field and in the country, the top 4% are the only ones that can overcome 5 objections. Most people can't get past the first one. Why? Skill or the intent, The intent should be to build a relationship, to get to know the person, to do some fact finding about them, as opposed to just trying to convert a sale. So, but good stuff, man. Good stuff. We 36th episode of Follow Up Friday. Good stuff, my friend. Good stuff. Any last minute comments or thoughts on follow-up strategies, contact strategies, approaches, anything you want to share, Carlos?
No, I mean, it's you just got to stay on top of it. You got to do my biggest thing is you have to call all these people. You got to email, you got to text, you got to use all your tools to get every little bit of business that you can get. You can't just assume. You cannot do that. Every day you have to stop thinking about, today's days, people are texting. Yeah, you got to use that tool. You got to use every tool. I don't use text, so I'm not going to text people. Or you better get on top of things if you're not using all the tools. I'm not an expert at every single thing. I'm like that. This text, people could text us live right now. It's 913-703-7000. I have this tool that I got, and now I'm going to start doing text marketing a little more than what I ever did. And I'm not an expert at it, but I need to do it because it's that I got to hit that generation that I haven't been hitting. You know what I mean? So you got to think of all the ways: phone calls, emails, postcards, text messaging. You got to people tell me printing is dying industry. It's not. I own printing, and it's not. People, you have no clue. If you sit back and you think how many printing companies are online, that's where I just go. People want to wonder if it's dying. It's not. Think of all the printing companies online that are there right now because they still have business. Look at all those millions of people that do it. You know what I mean? So it's an industry that is not dying. People still do it. People still use it. They just do it differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
You market differently on your postcards. You get a promotional. Get your promotional products. Guess what's big right now? Get your logo put on hand sanitizer. I'm going to start doing that. So yesterday, I just started we just talked about it, and we're committed to doing this, and we're going to start doing hand sanitizer. Why? Because it's a big thing right now, because people are needing it. So I'm going to start doing hand sanitizer. And then you just got to start getting with the times, but you got to do it all. Text messages, phone calls, leave those voicemails, leave the right voicemails. If you guys want me to give you some ideas on leaving, and they're quick, they're 30 seconds. They're not anything spectacular. You're going to be like, that's it. But I get phone calls back. I get return phone calls, I teach my people at the office, even my wife, they might leave a voicemail and they're like, I can't get a hold of this person, and they're like, we have no other option. So I call and I leave them a voicemail. I said, listen, I leave them a voicemail and they call back. It's just you can't be wordy. You gotta be short and sweet, positive and excited, and then you get the call backs. So if you guys want to know, you can text us 913-703-7000.
I'm going to put that up on the screen so everyone knows. You can text us for ideas, suggestions, feedback, thoughts. But our contact strategies: emails, phone calls, text messages, Popeye gifts, postcards, milk routes. Call 913-703-7000. You can call or text for information to kind of help you. But the key thing is, as we said, is to have a contact approach, have a contact strategy approach, have a follow-up plan, whether it's daily, hourly, weekly, monthly, have multiple touches, right? Don't just, I do text messages, or I do emails, or I only do telephone calls. I had a lady tell me one time, I don't leave voicemails and I don't send text messages. And I said, you're back in 1985. Okay, this is 2020. You don't leave voicemails or text messages, you're missing out on a significant part of the population. Significant part of the population. How significant of a part of the population is she missing out on if she doesn't leave voicemails? Well, we already know that 98% of people open up text messages, right? Well, what about this? 97% of the people, you connect with them through a phone call. 98% respond to text messages. So if she's not leaving voicemails or sending text messages, there's no way she's maximizing her opportunities to get deals. No way. You're just sending emails. We're not saying that one of these is better than the others. Carlos, you said a number of times, it's all of them, and Popeyes, and creative gifts. Like you mentioned, and I put it in there, put your logo on hand sanitizer gifts and go pop by some different clients or customers or prospects and drop them off. Or potential prospects, people that you'd like to become customers or clients, and drop them off. Drop your logo on there. Drop your business card. All you really got to do is take your business card. If you wanted to, take your business card and put it on the hand sanitizer deal and then go drop it off, right? Just go tape it there. If you wanted to get real creative and short with it, or you can call Carlos and get a real customized version. Go ahead, Carlos.
But the thing is it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be expensive. You can go get a string like this and a tag. We make tags all the time for people, real estate agents, business owners, people that want to just drop off gifts. They come into our store all the time and we make this little stuff. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to have a custom, this can get pricey. But you can do it inexpensive. You can go buy some hand sanitizer and get a tag and a string and customize your tag. These tags don't cost anything. And it's a hole puncher. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you can create it. Now, obviously this is already printed, but you can create it and put it on the tag. Or you can get a sticker and put it on the item. You know what I mean? You can do it inexpensively. You don't have to, but you have to do it all the time, and you have to do it in a big quantity, and you have to keep doing it and keep doing it. It's not a one-time, 1 month thing. You either have to figure out your budget, or you got to figure out some marketing strategy to add doing it on a consistent basis. 1 year.
The primary referral, the secondary referral, the tertiary referral, stuff like that you just said, taking a hand sanitizer, dropping your business card on it, or doing what you just showed and dropping that off on some Popeyes, that's going to have a secondary or tertiary referral effect. It's probably not going to be the person that you gave that to that's going to be the one to call you. It's going to be their sister, aunt, brother, kid down the line that they may have given it. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool, very creative. Where'd you get that from? Oh, Carlos. Wow, you know what? I need some printing. That's going to be the person to call. He's not going to be the person you gave it to. It's going to be the secondary or the tertiary referral.
Right. You have to show value to these clients too. You know what I mean? It might not be to do business with you today, but you got to show value to that you can help them out in some way. just to get some reaction. You got to get some conversation going. You got to get some interaction going with these people. So that way, you can get more business later in the future, or you just, they refer you business. They don't have to. That's what people don't understand. Just because I don't do business with you doesn't mean that I don't know somebody that I can give you, somebody that will do business with you, so it just, people don't understand how getting business. It's that I was trying to look for that email, but I might have permanently deleted it. But this is my last attempt.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, listen, this has been a good show. We're right up on the 10 o'clock hour Central Standard Time. It's going to be a great weekend. The weather's fantastic. It's probably going to be hot again. So everybody stay cool, have a good time. It's Friday, so we certainly want to get out there and make some contacts. I got some people to call. I'm trying to turn my database over and call everybody in 90 days. So I got to go back through and call some of these people. Some of these people, they think they have gotten away, but they haven't gotten away yet.
It was funny because I was telling you the other day, so I picked up an attorney's card. I picked up an interior consultant, a builder, remodeler, another agent. I picked up a lot of cards this week. It wasn't a lot, but it's enough. And these people, some of these people I'm going to reach out to is just, referral partners or people that maybe can refer me some business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you don't understand. That's another opportunity too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make phone call. You don't have to make phone calls to people that you're trying to do business with. You can always make phone calls to people that could refer you business.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another portion of way to get business. You got to look at, I might do a chart. You got to look at different ways that you can get business. And like I said, it all, a little bit adds up to a lot. And if you're not doing it multiple different touches, different ways, then it's not, you're not getting the max out of everything.
Right. Referral partners is huge. We definitely should talk about that and kind of go into that because, that's huge. That's a big part of business that, that we could be missing out on,
generating business, ways of generating business, how to do it, phone calls, all this. But I think I'm going to do a chart. I might make a chart because people don't understand is that how am I generating business? Where, some people think, okay, I have to generate business. So my business is house cleaning. And so now all I got to focus on is the homeowners that, because they have houses and I want to clean their houses. And that's all they focus on. But they don't focus on and trying to get business from those people. But they don't focus on who would have the business, who would have the referrals or the business to give me, on top of the clients that I do get. Because some people are like, man, I only got 5 or 6 people that I'm cleaning houses for, but yet they don't sit there and think, are you getting referrals from real estate agents? Are you getting referrals from bankers? Are you getting referrals from, accountants, people that are in front of people all the time, but then you got to follow up and you got to call and text and message all those referral people too. So
Agreed.
I'm going to make a chart like that.
Yeah, you should make that into that because, perfect example for me would be attorneys and accountants. They're referral partners, right? They're people that I can call on and send them business. And they're people that, as they talk to people who are going through divorces or who have assets they need to, do things with, they definitely could refer business. So we definitely should go through that.
Financial planners is another one for you. It's you got to look at all different ways. I mean, But that's like I said before, it's like going business to business. You walk into a business and you might clean houses. You can walk into a business and hand out a flyer or brochure and say, hey, I'm a local cleaning company here. I clean houses. That doesn't mean that you walk into a business and it has nothing to do with your business. There's people in there that own houses that might need your service. You know, they don't, you don't sit there and you can't discriminate to who you're doing business with, you know, and they don't think outside the box.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that's definitely something we should definitely kick into that one and check that one out. That's a good idea.
I'm a local cleaning company here. I clean houses. That doesn't mean that you walk into a business and it has nothing to do with your business. There's people in there that own houses that might need your service.
Yeah,
you know, absolutely. They don't. You don't sit there and you can't discriminate to who. Is that you or me? You know.
That's just running. That's just running back. Right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. That's just running back something that you said, because it was important. I think it was very important to repeat that. That was very important. That referral partner. So we definitely need to kick more into that one. So I just ran that back again so we can hear it again for effect. It was a very important point you made. So, cool. All right, man. Well, let's wrap it up. Hey guys, you can reach Carlos. Carlos, where can we reach you at?
Google. You can Google me, Carlos Ceballos Hustle. You can Google me, or you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on all of them. But you can Google me. You can find me there. I love Google. There's a lot of people that have been going to Google. Thank you. Because I see my results. I see my results. 539 people last week. 539 people clicked on my Google.
Really? Wow, that's good. That's good reach you're getting.
I don't know how or what, but they're either looking at my, and it tells me if they're looking at my pictures or if they're looking at my, website, how many clicks on my website. It tells me if they're coming to my location, which I only have. I probably only had like 10 people GPS, which. I added up my number, and there was a lot of people that used my Google to GPS to me,
Yeah.
So gives me my numbers. I love it. 539 people last week. I appreciate it.
No, that's good. That's very good. All right, cool. So we'll you can find Carlos. You can Google him and find him on any of the platforms. You can find me. Obviously, you probably can't Google me as successfully, but you can still find me on Facebook, Steve for Home Loan, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Steve for Home Loan, and then also, of course, fountainmortgage.com as well. Let us know what questions you got, guys. 913-703-7000. Text to chat or just call. Either way, we don't discriminate. We'll take phone calls, text messages, email. We like all the channels, right, Carlos? We like all the communication.
Right. Yeah, every communication we can get. And after this video, when I'm done, I'm going to post in the comments of my contact information. I want to see if anybody reaches out to me and see what they say.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, have a good weekend. We'll see you next Friday, but hopefully sooner than that, Carlos. Talk to you soon, my friend.
See ya.
Take care. Bye-bye.